it's me Sam, and today I am going to be talking about all of the fun reading I did in 2018. So I have my reading spreadsheet up because I am a book nerd with a reading spreadsheet, and I have my journals here with all of my written down goals, since obviously I don't have a video from that, talking about what I wanted to accomplish this year, and if I did. I'm gonna start this by saying that I know I did well reading this year, even if I didn't reach the goals on these papers. I kind of don't really care. I enjoyed what I read this year, and I think I did a good job. And there was a lot of stuff that happened and changed in my life from the beginning of January to now at the end of December that played huge factors in changing what I wanted to read and my whole entire life in general. As I mentioned in my first video, I guess for my life in general, life has changed. I moved across Canada, I got engaged, moving is just that one's so big. I moved from a place that I wasn't really loving to some place now that's different, and I am very much enjoying, but different, very far from my entire family, and I've changed jobs like 3 times now, and it's just things have been moving in different ways and different changing things, and the way I read even a little bit has changed. So that's that. So I just want to see what I have accomplished and and then I will have a video soon in the future, in the next couple days, next couple weeks, whenever I get around to it, about my 2019 goals, because I'm gonna have some of those too, even if my life changes 15 times during 2019 as well. So the first thing I'm going to look through is this journal here, and it's 2018. I started it and I wrote at the very beginning reading goals and thoughts. So I haven't really touched this since I wrote down my 2018 goals, which is kind of embarrassing, but that's fine. I can do that later. So I've got it opened up and I'm going to flip through the page with my 2018 goals, and we're just going to go through them. All right, so here they are. Here's the page. All right, so the first thing I have written down is I want to read all the books that I actually own. I don't even know where I started at the beginning of the year on my TBR. There was a lot. I actually have it on my spreadsheet. Let me bring it up. So I started 2018 with 86 books on my TBR, and that seems like a lot because I don't normally read 86 books in a year. And I wanted to cut that down. I specifically wrote that I wanted to cut down my TBR to 30 books by the end of 2018. Preferably 0 by 2019 if that's possible, but that's impossible, I wrote. That's probably true. So I did read about 30 books off of the TBR this year. I think I am now down to about 69 books on my TBR. So that's not even 30 books, maybe a little less than 30. I did cut some stuff off of it, and I'd added, obviously, I did probably read 30 books because I've added a lot of stuff to it. I think I acquired 30 more books or so into my life this year. Oh, it seems like a lot. But yeah, so that's why I guess there's the difference there. So I think I'm leaving with 69 books on my TBR. So I did read a lot of books that I owned, and that was great. And actually, one big thing that happened was right before I moved out west, I removed a bunch of books off of my TBR that I didn't want to read because I was moving, and I'm not going to drag that many books from Halifax. So I live in Fredericton, so from Fredericton to Victoria. That wasn't going to happen. So I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff. Moving costs a crap ton of money, and you don't want to bring books if you don't have to. So now I only have one small shelf because shipping is a lot of money, and shipping all of your stuff is a lot of money. Things you learn. Something I learned in 2018. All right, so the next goal on this list was to slay the series. So I wanted to finish at least 7 series. What? Yeah, that's a lot. So I seriously desperately need to reduce all the series I'm reading. There is too many. So I think I did reduce the series I wanted to read because there is too many, and I think I did that by quitting a whole crap ton of them. And there's a list here of series that I wanted to finish for sure. It was the Winner's Trilogy, which I did finish this year. So I read The Winner's Kiss, I think this last one, some point in the spring, and I finished that one, so that was good. I wanted to finish the Princess Diaries series, and that didn't happen. There's still 3 books I have to read, the last 2 in the original and then The Royal Wedding. I'm still working on that. I think I'm still going to do that, so that's good. Mistborn, I didn't finish Mistborn. I finished The Well of Ascension in January last year. The beginning of January last year. it was a slog for me to get through, and I don't know why I was having such a hard time with it, but it just took a lot of effort for me to get through the Well of Ascension. So I do want to finish it this year. I want to finish the Hero of Ages sometime in the next couple months. I just got the audiobook because I did the audiobook and read the Well of Ascension. That helped a hell of a lot. So I just got the audiobook for Hero of Ages, so I'm going to get through that hopefully in the next month or 2 or 3 before the end of next year is the main goal. And the last one on that list was the Magnus Chase series by Rick Riordan, and I had decided to fully quit that one. So I think I've quit all of Rick Riordan series that I was in the middle of. I just wasn't loving them anymore, and I think I just couldn't do it. So if I don't loving it, I'm not going to finish it. That's the goal. That's it. I also want to bring up my list on what other series I decided to quit, or if I finished any on Goodreads. So there's only 17 finished series on my Goodreads shelf, so that's embarrassing because I've started that a while ago. Anyway, so what I did finish this year was, did I finish this one? Nope. So I actually finished 2 series this year, so that is depressing because I wanted to finish 7, but that's fine. I will continue on next year with this goal. So the ones I did finish, as I mentioned, was the Winter's Trilogy. So I read the Winter's Kiss, and I also finished reading the 5th season series. So I read the last book in that one this year, The Stone Sky, and I didn't like it. Unpopular opinion? Probably. Oh well, it's just mine. Those are the series I finished, and now let's see which ones I actually quit, because I quit a ton. Alright, so I guess the two big series that I decided to quit that I was working on and that I decided to quit this year were both the Rick Riordan series that I was in the middle of. So the Magnus Chase series and the Heroes of Olympus series. I made it like 1 book shy of the Heroes of Olympus series, and I just cannot get myself to pick up the last one, so I'm not going to. So I quit it. I'm not going to do it. If I don't want to, there's too many other books for me to read, and it's just, that one's on Jamin with me right now. So maybe one day I'll want to, but right now, no way. Some other ones I were just like the first book in that series that I had read and I enjoyed, like Ruined by Amy Tintera. I read that one, enjoyed it, and I was going to continue, but I just fell out of the series, and I just don't feel like picking up the next one, which is totally fine. Other ones that I've put on this list are the Miss Peregrine series. I read last year. I think I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Didn't love it. Same with the Across the Universe series. I think I listened to that one on audiobook earlier this year at the end of last year, and it was just okay, and I'm not going to finish. I'm not going to continue on with that series. Red Queen series. I had that one for a while, and I listened to it on audiobooks. I just wanted to know, and I just not going to continue with that either. And a big one is the Warcross series, and I'm going to really talk about that one later, but yeah, I didn't like that book at all, and I'm not going to continue that series either. So I cut a lot of series off this list, that are off my series list that I was reading, and I'm not going to continue with them. It's just not going to happen. Last 2 on this list were to finish every graphic novel that I own and to finish the Chew series, and I didn't complete either of those. So I completed exactly 0 of my goals for 2018, and I'm cool with that. So I didn't finish the Chew series because I moved out here, and the library here doesn't have Chew, and that sucks. I'm about 6 or 7 volumes in, and I have probably about 5 or 6 left to go, and the library doesn't have it, and that hurts my heart. So I want to finish that still, but I don't like purchasing graphic novels because they're really expensive, and they take me about an hour to read through, and I don't generally pick them up again. So maybe if the library picks them up, or if I find them somewhere else, I will finish it. But right now that one's on hiatus, and I did almost finish all the graphic novels I owned. Well, the problem is I bought a bunch on Comixology, so I have them all digitally, and I don't love that. I like to have them in my hand to read. So let me just see how many I have left. Yeah, so there's 16 graphic novels that were sitting on my TBR at the end of 2016, or there was 16, there's 16 on there now, so I don't think I bought any this year, and there are 6 remaining. So I read 10 of those 16, which is, I think it's pretty great. I got through most of them, and I'm going to get through those other 6 very quickly if I wanted to. I could have easily finished this one, but I just kind of forgot about it. Like, I had looked at this in January, and I don't know, I just wanted to spread some of these out, and I'm going to pick them up at the library, and that's something I have to put some time into by ordering them, putting my holds on them, going to pick them up, that kind of thing. So I just haven't had time to do that. And So I'm gonna finish these someday soon. By the 2019, they gotta be gone. And I guess the other big goal that everybody sets every year is the Goodreads challenge. My Goodreads challenge was set to 50 books because that's where I always put it at. It's either between 50 or 52, about a book a week is what I set it to. And I read, at this point, it's almost the end of December, so it's December 27th. I've read 68 books. I'll probably read another book or two, so I'll get to 69 or 70, which is awesome. It's a little bit less than I read last year, but as I said, life changes and I just read a little different, and it's really not that many. 5 or 6 books difference is not a big deal. So that's great. I completed that. That's just always the goal I have set for myself. I think it's easy. That's the one that I feel comfortable completing every year. So I know some people don't like to set them, but I always feel like 50 goals is always going to be fairly achievable for me if I'm still reading. So I set it there. I have one more list I kind of want to look through. It is my fall 2018 TBR that I wrote in my bullet journal, which I haven't been using either. My list is a disaster. Anyway, so I'm going to read through the books that I wanted to read on the last few months of 2018 just to see. So I had Pet Sematary by Stephen King on this list, which I did read. I started reading it in October. I read it for Halloween. I finished it in November. It was really good. My Best Friend's Exorcist by Grady Hendrix. I also read that. I read that in November after I finished reading Pet Sematary. It was really good as well. Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo I did not get to. And I have been wanting to read this forever. I am feeling still like I really want to read it. I literally just picked up the box set of Six of Crows yesterday for Boxing Day, and it was on like super sale. I got it for 18 bucks. So I'm going to read that one soon. I think I'm going to, after the 2 books that I have sitting on my bedside table that I'm in the middle of, I'm going to pick that one up. The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. That wasn't going to happen at the end of this year. Who was I kidding? I read Air of Fire in the summer. I do want to continue on the series, and I think it's time that I pick up the novellas before I start Queen of Shadows. So I have the novellas in ebook, and I don't want to read an ebook, so I'm just going to grab a copy from the library. They always have one. So hopefully in the next couple months or next year, I'll get to read that. And I think I should read Assassin's Blade and Queen of Shadows at the end of 2019 would be the ultimate goal, but we'll see. I had Children of Blood and Bone by Tony Emi on this list, and I actually DNF'd that one. It's not that I didn't like it, it's just I was really not in a fantasy mood at that time, and I just couldn't get into it, so I put it aside, took it back to the library, and I do have plans to pick it up again someday. It's just, when I'm feeling it, I will go get it again. Basically, that's the end of that. Two Dark Reigns, I am currently in the middle of, so counts-ish. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I haven't had a chance to get that one out of the library yet. I'm in the middle of a lot of other stuff, and I just haven't had a chance to read that one. I've loved the Remnant Chronicles, and I really want to read that series, and I just haven't had a chance yet, but we'll do it someday. Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. Haven't done that. That wasn't going to happen either. I don't know who I was kidding, but it's in the immediate-ish TBR, so will happen soon. And last on my list was Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab, I think, because it's the YA. I read I read the first one in that series in the summer and listened to it on audio, and I wanted to finish it before I forgot too much about it. Just haven't had a chance to grab it out of the library yet on audio, and I should soon because then I'll finish another series. That would be great. Yeah, so that's basically all of the goals that I had set for myself this year. They went off the rails because my life changed, and my reading taste changed midway through the year, and that's fine. Totally fine. I'm going to make some new 2019 goals. If I make them or not, doesn't really matter. As long as I'm still reading, that's all that really counts. I guess I'll go quickly through maybe some of my statistics for the year. So I said right now I've read 68 books. I'm going to read probably another book or 2, but I know the ones that I'm going to finish because they're sitting on my bedside table right now because I'm in the middle of them. My best reading month this year was September. I read 10 books. On average, it says on average I read 6 books a month, which is fair. So far I have read a total of, I'm going to look at it because I can't look at this and do it. Total pages was 21,729 pages. So that's pretty amazing. I've got to add a few, probably another 1,000 to that. No, I'm not. Probably another couple hundred to that by the end of the day, so about 22,000 for 2018. Average amount of time I spend reading a book is 6. I would preferably like to cut that down to 5, but honestly I don't really care. I'm doing well. It doesn't really matter. The biggest genre I read this year. This one's probably going to be interesting. Actually, turn of events. It's contemporary. I read 18% of the books I read this year were contemporary books. That was 12 books were contemporary. So I was ranking like, I guess, YA contemporary and then some adult contemporaries under there. So 18 books. Also read 12 fantasy books. So both of those made up about half of my reading of all of the year. So I like stuff that's in the current time and stuff that's set in a fantasy world, apparently. So those were the two biggest genres I read this year. It was closely followed by graphic novels. I kind of have them in their own category. I read 11 graphic novels this year. Most of those were probably fantasy. So generally, I'm reading more fantasy. And the big one after that is thrillers. I read 9 thrillers. I'm reading another mystery right now, which will be probably make it about 10 for the end of this year, which is pretty cool. And I guess there's another fantasy on my table if I finish it. I'll probably finish that one by the 2019 because I know myself and I know it's the end of December and I don't think I'm going to finish both the book I'm reading and Two Dark Reigns by the end of the year. The books I read this year were published in the last 2 years. So 29 books that I read were published in 2016 and 2017. I read 15 2018 releases this year, which was really cool. And the bulk of the rest of the books were from 2011 to 2015 with 17 there. And then only a handful before 2010, which is sad. I should probably read some older books, but I just read newer stuff, so that's fine. Big one here, the reason why I'm not getting through my physical TBR is because half of the books that I read are audiobooks. 45% of the books I read this year were audiobooks. That was 30 books were audio. That's a lot. I have been reading some of my ebooks, like the books that I have on my ebook library on audio, just to get through those ones, because I don't love reading ebooks. And that's a lot of audio listening, which is perfectly fine. I like to listen to books as I walk to work, take transit, clean up, all that kind of stuff. So it's a great way to get through more stuff. And then the rest were either pretty well split between hardbacks and hardcovers and softcovers. Last one is my average star rating for the year was 3.5, which isn't great. Maybe I should get it a little higher, closer to 4, but 3.5 isn't the worst. And I guess the last one I really wanted to look at was the countries in which places I read stuff for. So most of the books I read were written by US authors, which is fine and great, but I'm not from the United States. I'm from Canada, and I only read 3 Canadian authors all year, and that's sad. So I know one of my goals in 2019 is going to be about reading more Canadian books. And then after Canada, I read 6 books from the UK and then just 3 or 4 books from other countries. So I do want to focus reading on maybe a little bit more worldly next year. We'll see when I make up my goals. But the biggest goal is I want to read more Canadian books for 2019. I will set a more structured goal when I do that, but that's something I want to focus on for sure in the future. And that's it. I think that's all of the goals I set. That's all of my reading. So 69 books. And I didn't do anything I set myself out to do, but that's perfectly fine. Besides that, look out for my 2019 goals soon. I'm excited for what I'm going to read next year, and hopefully it's going to be stuff that I love. I also will have my best and worst out, best books of 2018 out in the new year, because that is like my favorite stuff to watch, and I can't wait. So I will have that out, and you guys have a great day. Bye!